Hey guys, it's Mark from lotmoreguitar.com, and in this lesson we're going to expand on those bends we learned in the last lesson in the pattern 1 minor pentatonic scale. So just as a review, I'm on the 5th fret here in A minor pentatonic. And the bending notes were 7th fret 3rd string, all whole step bends, 8th fret 2nd string, and 8th fret 1st string. Okay, so the next step to expand these into licks is to play some notes with the bends, or above the bends, as I would like to say to my students. So if I bend the 7th fret of the 3rd string, I can pick the 5th fret of the 2nd string. It happens to be the same note, but it sounds pretty cool. So I'm using my first finger to do that. Notice I'm coming off the bend here. Okay, I could also hold them together. We call those oblique bends. That's also a cool sound. You've heard that many times. Okay, and the next note in the scale on the 2nd string would be the 8th fret. So I'm going to bend the same note, and I'm using my pinky here to play the 8th fret of the 2nd string. Still using the 3 fingers to reinforce. Okay, you could try different fingers. You could use your 3rd finger if you'd like to. I like to use my pinky on this one. And you can also hold those two together. Hold this note and bend the 3rd string for a nice aggressive sound. The next bend that we learned was the 2nd string 8th fret. So now we have 2 scale notes above. We have the 5th fret on the 1st string. This one's a little more challenging because of the stretch. So what I do is tilt my knuckles down to the floor a little bit, you know, the fist knuckles. And that helps me kind of get that first finger over there. And then if I repeat the lick, I usually kind of leave my first finger there. So here I'm kind of using these, the 2nd and 3rd fingers to do the bend and pick that 1st string. And of course you could do those two together. Okay, then the next note we have is the 8th fret of the 1st string. Okay, so here I'm going to use my pinky to play it. Again, you could experiment with different fingers. Love that sound. I like to separate those two, but you can play them together. Okay, so you have nice sounds there. So I'm bending that 8th fret 2nd string, playing the 5th fret first, and then you could also play the 8th fret of the 1st string above the bend. Okay, so the last little lick I want to show you is bending the 3rd string and then barring the top 2 strings with your 1st finger. So in this case, I'll be on the 5th fret because I'm in A minor, pattern 1. Okay, this is a very common blues rock motif. You can play the notes together or separate them. Kind of like that Johnny B. Good thing. But you could separate the notes, strum them. Okay, so I'm bending the 3rd string. I'm kind of using 3 fingers here, but then I lay my 1st finger across. And if I repeat the lick, I tend to leave my 1st finger kind of hanging out there and use these 2 fingers for the bend. So that's one you can combine with these other 2 bends here. And then... Okay, so a lot of cool licks combine these 3 notes, right? And then these 3. So that belongs to both of them, I guess. So it's cool to kind of come down the scale and go back up with that, that particular phrase. You can come down, go back up, alternate the bend. So you can kind of these little bends and phrases can serve as building blocks for larger licks that you can play in pattern 1, minor pentatonic. And again, all of these licks would be transposable. So if I wanted to go to D, that would be D minor. So anything pattern 1, any pattern 1 scale, minor pentatonic, can play all of these licks and bends. All right, so have some fun with that, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.